What is going on, everybody? It's Jamie and welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. We have a bit of a shed update this week. Also have an update on Antique Booth sales, and I'm going to share 10 things that sold for me recently on eBay. Let's start it off with the shed update. So you can see these acoustic foam panels here. I did have some up on the wall, and I'll try to insert a photo up here of what they look like. I kind of did like a test to see if they would stick just to the, so if we look over here, just the plastic part here without putting strapping across and like stapling them down or whatever, because they do come with this like two-sided tape, which I was pretty sure wasn't going to hold them, and they didn't. The next day they were falling on the floor. That really was an option, and then it just made me think, what do I want to do? Do I want to use these, or do I want to look at another option? As you can see here, I've actually just went ahead and got some more pine and decided to go that route. I have it right till about the center rafter, honestly. And we have it all the way back here. It's turning out to be pretty good. It's just a little bit obviously more costly. Another mistake that I made when I went to purchase the rest of the lumber, I gave them measurements for about half down. So about half of the room, the ceiling part. And I said, I need that times 2. They obviously missed the times 2 part, so I only got half of the lumber, which isn't really that big of a deal. I'm just gonna have to pay for delivery a second time. Also, they wouldn't have had all the lumber anyway, because when I went back, which is it was just 2 days later, they didn't have enough anyway. So now I'm just waiting for the order to come in potentially tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll get it because it's going to be a long weekend here in Canada. And if I don't get it tomorrow, I won't get it until midway, probably through next week or something like that, because Monday's a holiday and I'm sure they'll be super busy Tuesday. But yeah, regardless, this will be done next week, and then I'll be able to start to put this room back together. The roof itself, you know, just the roof section is about $1,000, just over $1,000, just to give you an idea of how much it's going to cost, or it cost me extra just to do all of this in lumber. But it's something that's going to last me a long time that I'm going to be happy with and not want to change. The way I was going to do it before, I could see in a couple of years maybe not liking that, or maybe this foam breaks down, or I had issues with it, or if it gets dirty, how do you clean it? So I really think in the long run, just actually finishing it off in all the same type of pine board, I'm probably overall going to be much happier this way. All right, so a little bit of good news now. I have my sales for the antique booth here. This is right up until the 30th of July. So technically there was one more day of sales. I don't know what sold yesterday. When I'm filming this, it's August 1st. But yesterday there still would have been sales. So I got this on the 30th. Sales for the month, $509.70. That's an increase from last month for sure. This is my best month so far. Commissions are $50.97. That gives me a vendor payout of about $458.73, something like that. I'll just scroll. I'll take a little video on my phone. I won't tell you everything that sold, but I'll just do like a little side video here and you can see the sales. You know, the biggest sale I think was like a CFL jersey for $45, and there's lots of $4 to $10 items. I know there was something else that was a decent amount. I'm just trying to look here. Like a Goosebumps t-shirt for $13, but I don't know. Most of the items you'll see are like $4 to $5 to $6 stuff going out. So, you know, all that stuff does add up. This last part of the month, we had a 10% off sale. You could go up to whatever you wanted. I think I just agreed to do 10% off, but that's pretty decent. He also did offer me when I was in there, if I want the booth next to me, I think the guy is going back to work or something's happening and he doesn't have time to do it anymore. If I want, I can take over that space. I'm on the fence about it though, because things are going in the right direction. I just don't know if I want to spend more money in rent right now. I'd like to have more space. That's a no-brainer. So I'm sort of just on the fence. If you guys think it'd be a good idea for me to get more space, or should I just test out what I have now? Like, we're still making money. We're still climbing every month, making a little bit more money. I'd like to get this, to, like I said before, to about $1,000 a month. So I'm halfway to where I want to be. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think more space would be good or bad? Obviously, it's good, but it's going to cost me more money. I think it costs me roughly not quite double, but close to double of what I'm currently paying. All right, so we are heading in the right direction as far as the shed goes, as far as the antique booth goes. And we're gonna go in the house and I'm gonna tell you 10 things that sold for me recently on eBay. And yeah, let's get to it. So I've actually done pretty good already with this bulk cassette pickup. It was absolutely free. You know, it cost me my time to go get it. This came from my aunt and uncle, so I have no real cost. If you kind of missed that story, I'll link down below the video where I got all the cassettes for free, but this was one of the ones that sold for me recently. I think in this what sold there's a couple different lots as well, but this is Nirvana Nevermind. There are different versions of it. This one's a pretty basic version, but it sold really quickly still for $39 plus shipping. I tested it for longer than I needed to. I probably listened to this for about 10 minutes. I listened to the first side for like maybe 7 or 8 minutes, and I'm like, oh, you know what, like I should check the other side. Flipped it over, listened to it for a couple of minutes, and that was good. So we sold this for $39. The buy cost was absolutely zero. Here you can see that I charged $6 for shipping, and I think it actually cost me like about $7 to ship. So it cost me a couple of dollars to ship. I'm definitely not mad about it. I did ship all the cassettes you see in this particular what sold video were shipped with tracking. Yeah, let's get into the next one. All right, so this is a really cool jersey. The last time we went on a weekend kind of getaway, me and my wife, we went to the sports store that I always go to in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and I got this jersey. I think I paid about 25, 30 bucks for it. There was actually no sold comp for this particular jersey on eBay. There were some listed super high. I listed mine in a range where I thought it would sell pretty quickly, and it did for $135. This is an Adidas jersey, size 52, which is the equivalent to a men's large. It was like, it's not, what's the word for it? It feels like a vinyl on there. It's like a very sticky material. It's a weird practice jersey. You know, typically jerseys have like a nice patch on them, whatever. You know, the Adidas thing's all patchwork, but the actual logo is like this really sticky material. Kind of bizarre anyway, but this was a nice practice jersey, brand new with tags. Like I said, turning $30 into $135. Pretty happy about that. I did charge, I'll show you right here, $12 for shipping, and it costs probably a little bit less than that. So very happy with this sale. You know, we got it shipped out on time, no issues with it whatsoever. I probably should have picked up more than just a couple. I only picked up the one Calgary Flames and one Winnipeg Jets. Next time I go up there, if they still have these ones laying around, I'll definitely pick up some more. All right, now this one I took a best offer of. It doesn't show it. Sometimes it shows it crossed out and then you know it was the best offer. I know this was an offer because we went back and forth a bunch on this one. Now, everybody knows, I think, what Supreme is, right? Supreme triple box is just this right here. Okay, but this is a collab with a guy, and I didn't know anything about it. I just thought the back hit was really cool. I thought it was maybe like in Halloween 2022 or something like that. And then when I brought it home, because this did come from the Goodwill bins, so I'm only into it a couple of dollars at the most, probably $1 and a little bit, honestly. It's a collab with this guy who does designer clothing called Ass Pizza. Never heard of him. Really weird name, but it comes up right away. If it was brand new with tags and authentic, you could probably sell it. There's some listed. I didn't really look through solds through the brand new ones, but there were some listed for like $300. Supreme stuff is pretty expensive. This particular one was used. It's got, you know, some like wear, like a normal used t-shirt, but getting $70 for this, pretty happy with that. It's 70 or 75. I'll throw the exact number up on the bottom just in case I'm wrong, but it's about $70 to $75. And this one too, I did charge shipping. If we go down here, I think I charged $9 for shipping on this particular t-shirt. Next, we have a lot of cassettes. This came from the same, I want to say cassette buy, but they were absolutely free, so I don't have any money into these. They were just a free pickup from a family member. Yeah, so you can see I just took some pretty basic pictures. So that's the back side of the CDs. The first one is the front of the CDs, the cassette tapes, I should say. I should at least tell you the right things. So this is a lot of 5 Pink Floyd cassette tapes, right? I just took a picture of the back sides and all the front sides. It's kind of hard. I decided pretty early on that I was just going to go with the side where you could read what album it was and the band name on it, because you could very easily go with this as your front picture. But you know what? Like people who are gonna look up Pink Floyd cassettes probably can see those pretty easily, and it might even entice them to click on it because now they've got to look a little further to see which ones they actually are. So I thought it was, for me, I think that's a clever way to do it. I don't know if you would go with this picture or this picture, but for me, this one definitely worked. I could have sold these individually. I might be giving a couple of these away too cheap, but because I'm bundling together and getting rid of some of the ones that maybe aren't worth as much money, 30 bucks for the entire lot seemed really fair. I charged $7 for shipping. These got packaged up in a 6x6x6 box. They were very lightweight and they didn't cost me any extra money to ship out. Happy with this one for sure. I think there might be one more cassette sale in here. I had lots of other ones like this that I've lotted up, but I just picked 10 sales from the last week to share with you. But there are plenty of cassettes moving out currently in my eBay store. All right, it's a great time of year to sell football jerseys right now. People are just gearing up for getting ready for football season, getting ready to support their favorite team, right? Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton jersey. I have no idea if this guy even plays for the Panthers anymore, but he did at one point, obviously. So this particular jersey, you know, all jerseys, I just take very simple pictures. We got a front and a back, right? You're basically showing what it looks like. I'm showing the Nike tag here. I'm also just going to show the chest length and then the length, the total length of the jersey. I think those things are pretty important. I don't think there's any other photos in this because there are no major flaws worth pointing out. You know, it's got minor wear because it is a used jersey. I think I picked this one up with a bunch of other jerseys at the Antique Mall. When I go there in Tillsonburg, sometimes the one particular booth, the guy has jerseys really cheap or really reasonable and I pick them up. Usually it's $20 or less. I don't remember what I paid for this one exactly. You could go back and watch that video if you're interested, but it certainly, for, you know, 60 bucks for this is still worth it for me. Typically $20 is the max that I like to pay for a used jersey because it could be worth anywhere from 40 to 100 and whatever. It really depends on the jersey, but you know, without doing too much research, you know, when I'm picking them up really quickly, or, you know, if I'm just picking them up in bulk, 20 bucks is usually the cutoff where I'm pretty sure I'm going to make some money one way or the other. Next up, we have a pair of UGG Chukka boots. Now, these are wool and suede, right? So we've got the suede toe and the wool uppers here. They're in very nice condition. These actually came from the Goodwill bins. I'm not really sure why. Like, this wasn't like a new bin that came out. This was an old bin I was digging through and nobody seemed to want them. There's a little bit, if I show you the bottom, there's a little bit of wear on the bottoms. You know, if I click on this, we can look a little closer. There's, you know, a little of the tread is gone there. But other than that, these boots are in really nice condition. I wouldn't have paid much for these, a couple of dollars at the bins. They sold for $48. I thought these would sell closer into fall, maybe into winter, but somebody picked these up, maybe anticipating that time of year. I charged, as you can see, $12 usually for shoes, for shipping. And through Stallion Express, that generally covers most cases, unless it's going somewhere crazy, far away, you know, which is the sort of the risk you take when you do a flat rate shipping. I'm always doing flat rates on my shoes, and it's generally about 12 bucks. But happy with this, Goodwill bins find, and we flipped it on eBay for $58. All right, so we have a Nintendo Wii Red Octane guitar. You can see I had it listed for $85. I generally list them pretty high for there's room to negotiate. I wound up taking an offer, I think, of $68, which I think I was just having a slow week and somebody offered me reasonable money, so I took it. You know, I don't know if you guys ever get in those situations where things are just a little slower than you'd like and you'll take offers that maybe on other weeks you wouldn't take. I believe that's what happened here. You know, things are picking up quite a bit on eBay. But this one here, this particular one, I did get at the Goodwill bin, so I wasn't into it much money at all. It is for the Nintendo Wii, which really does help quite a bit too, because you don't need a dongle for this particular one. And I did have the battery back right here. When I found it, it didn't have it. I dug around in another bin that it's in the Goodwill bins. This is like the electronic stuff is usually in, I think this one has 3 different bins. I just kind of dug around and looked for like a plastic back, and I wound up finding, I assume it's for this same guitar. I did find one in that bin. It snapped right in, it worked. 65 bucks for this. I wouldn't have paid much at the Goodwill bins for this guitar for sure. But yeah, typically you can get closer to the 85. That would be normal, but 65 bucks, I'm still more than happy with that as well. All right, on this particular lot of cassettes, I did take a best offer of $28, so not a huge, like $2 difference, obviously. I charged $9 for shipping on this one, and it shipped the same way. It shipped in a 6x6x6 box. The $9 definitely covered all shipping costs, so there was no issue there. I had no buy cost into these cassettes. These ones I probably sold pretty cheap in comparison if I were to sell them one at a time. Some of these ones would sell fast and some of them wouldn't, so I've got so many cassettes, I don't mind lotting them up and getting a reasonable amount. If somebody could probably flip these and resell them and make a little bit of money still. In this particular case, I was happy to get $28 for these cassette tapes and just move them on out. Sold a pair of Sauconys on eBay here. A very odd number, $46.36. I charged $12 for shipping. They're a very bright color. They're in nice condition. I did pay full Goodwill price, so I paid about $8.49 for these. They sold the same day that I listed them. I thought that I listed them at a fair price, but I didn't think they'd sell the same day. Not sure why they did, but they did. Nice bright color, really nice shape. Like I said, I really just had to clean up just this part here, the whites on the bottom. You know, took some pretty basic pictures, and I was pretty happy with the quick sale on these Sauconys. Now, we sold a pair of North Face winter boots. Now, I picked these up at the beginning of summer, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to wait a while for these to sell. This is on my second eBay store as well. That's why it's $35 USD. It says approximately $48.36 Canadian, and I charged $9 for shipping, which it tells you right there, it's $12.43. These particular boots, you know, there was nothing wrong with them. I think they were just threw out in the wrong season and nobody at the bins wanted them. This was another situation where they were just laying there. And I looked them over pretty good because I had thought potentially, if we take a better look here, or a closer look, I kind of looked around this rubber bottom thinking, oh, maybe there's a crack or a reason why somebody doesn't want these. And I just think it was the season. Honestly, people didn't want to pick them up and wait for them to sell. And I was willing to pick them up and wait for them to sell. I got them listed so someone could buy them. We're obviously right now at the beginning of August when I'm filming this anyway, and somebody's already thinking about buying winter boots. These ones are in very nice shape. Very happy with the sale. Yeah, would I pick these up again? Of course. North Face boots always do well for me. We also installed some solar lights here. Now, I just picked these up at Canadian Tire. I have a second set here that I just plan on installing right beside the main door here. And that's about it. Hopefully next time we talk about the shed, it's because it's complete and I'm ready to move everything in here. Now, as far as the solar lights, the reason why we did solar lights outside is because there's no hydro here. I didn't run a line or anything. We've just been relying on this power bank or power brick. It's up there. It's an EcoFlow 27 watts. They're calling it a battery generator. Listen, it's just a big lithium battery. I've been running my fan off of it. I've been running the air compressor to do all the nailing and everything like that. I've been running a little radio, charging my phone. It's been fine. It's lasted up to 3 or 4 days before I've had to do anything. But when you're using something like the air compressor, it does eat up the battery more. So, you know, that just makes sense. It's got a 10-year warranty. I think it's going to be all I need out here. But if I'm going to ship from here, I may just need to put an air conditioner out here. So just a small apartment size one, which I won't be running all the time. And then in the wintertime, I'll have to figure out a heating solution as well. The same thing. If I find that my power supply doesn't last long enough, it would cost me about another $800 for another backup one. So I'd have double the amount of power. I'm also thinking about putting a solar panel on the roof that would charge this when I'm not using it, which would be smart as well. But those are all things we'll figure out here in the near future. If you guys do like videos like this, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content, and we will see you soon.